the signal. And we are live. We are live from the lobby bar here in the wonderful Ardhowen Theatre down in Lakeland in Enniskillen. Sorry for the slight delay. We were just all ready to go, and my new beard caused all kinds of problems with the equipment. It just seemed to jam the signal, but we seem to be live now. So thank you for joining us. So many of you have written to me with requests and saying that you're going to join us tonight. I hope you weren't lying. I hope that you weren't, oh yeah, I can't wait on your keyboards telling me that you'll be here, because I've written out all kinds of dedications for you also. So since I made the journey from Belfast over to Enniskillen, I was just thinking about it in the car. It took about maybe an hour and a half, an hour and 35 minutes, about 70 miles or so, and it struck me that that's the furthest away from home that I've been since March 14th last year. And I'm delighted to have made the trip for this purpose. And I came through 5 Mile Town, and of course I thought I'll start with that one. So this is a bit of South Tyrone Gothic. This is called The Road to 5 Mile Town. She was the youngest of 4 daughters, and she married way too fast. In the days when vows were iron and you had to make them last. But her father was a bruiser, and he bruised him twice a week. She couldn't live the life her mother had and turned the other cheek. So when she turned 16, she started counting off the days till she could find herself a husband and finally get away. He was a farmer with big farmer's hands, and she met him at a dance. She set her sights upon him, and he never stood a chance. She thought the price of being choosy was to live upon the shelf. She thought he'd do the job as well as anybody else. And when they both stood at the altar, he said he'd never let her down. He had a farm and 40 acres either side of the road to 5 Mile Town. The first year the river burst its banks and half the countryside was drowned. All the food that he had planted lay and rotted in the ground. He'd come home at night exhausted and lie dead between the sheets. And she'd lie all night and listen to the roaring of the beasts. And it was dark as being lost and never found. You wouldn't even know your eyes were closed or open on the road to 5 Mile Town. Upon a time she thought the world would be hers to wrap her arms around. Now she makes the beds and lays back down. She drew a disappearing heart when there was no one else around, on a steamed up kitchen window looking out on the road to 5 Mile Town. That's great. We hadn't even planned that there was going to be applause, so that took me by delightful surprise. Thank you very much.
You only get it, you deserve it.
Thank you very much. That means if it tails off, I know I'm on the wrong track here. So thanks very much, everybody, for getting in touch. I sent out the newsletter and a couple of things on social media, and a few people got in touch and asked for specific songs. So I'm going to try and do as many of those tonight as I can in the time allotted. Probably going to be on for about an hour or so. So hopefully you can stay with me. And I should have said right at the top of this performance, by the way, if you would take a quick look around and just check for your fire exits. And remember that your nearest exit may be behind you. So here's one for David Bell. And Paul Hackworth was in touch and asked if I would also dedicate this to Froykia. Now, I hope I've pronounced that correctly, but it looked to me like Froykia. This is a song called East of Louise. Well, we all know that she's bright, but sometimes she just doesn't pay attention. Stuff you talked about last night, she looked like it's a subject you just mentioned. She stops outside the station and she ponders for a minute. There's a train that's leaving soon, she wonders if she should be in it. And decisions such as these happen slightly to the east of Louise. And she tells herself she's lonely, an isolated queen in a city castle. She was somebody's one and only, but somehow it just wasn't worth the hassle. But here relationships can wither, the least said the soonest mended. She wrote it in a letter, but she never got it sended. And love is like a breeze that passes somewhere to the east of Louise. I think I'm falling for her. I lay my pearls of wisdom before her. But after 10 minutes, they just bore her back to tears. While she struggles with her laptop, I make coffee and I offer my suggestions. She says she's lost 1,000 emails from potential lovers asking the same questions. And I tell her love's another virus, it can eat your heart alive. She takes it off the desktop, but it stays there on the drive. And the instructions are Chinese, and that's just too far to the east of Louise. Thank you. I'm imagining all that wild applause at home as well. Thank you, folks. Thank you. Calm down, please. Here's one for Jeanette. This is an old song. I haven't played this in a long time. It's called. It's an old phrase my father used to use about bad characters. He would say things like, "Watch that fella, he's a road to no town," and it kind of always stuck in my head. So this is for Jeanette. He said, "Is it raining where you are?" She knew he was calling from his car. There was all kinds of static on the line. wondered how far he'd gone this time. Her heart swings open like a banging door. She says, I can't do this anymore. I'll dry up and disappear if you don't get me out of here. This used to be the promised land. Here we stand on the road to no town. He says I'm doing all I can. The words of every married man. What started out so full of hope is now the wrong end of the telescope. This used to be the promised land. Here we stand on a road to no town. Now the factories are all gone to Eastern Europe or Taiwan. She says she's barely holding on to who she was. Heartache is as heartache does. She tells him she's too tired to shout, but the signal's cutting in and out. Me and my sisters, we made all kinds of plans. Next thing you know, we're all pushing prams. This used to be the promised land. Holding hands on the road to no town. Road to no town. Thank you very much. Thank you. I'm trying to think of all of the things that have happened since I last was in this room. The last time I think I was here in Enniskillen, I was down here with the poet Frank Ormsby from Fermanagh, and we did an afternoon. I did a couple of songs, and then Frank read from a new collection. And the place was bunged, and it was a beautiful sunny afternoon. It was great. And I haven't laid eyes on Frank since. I've spoken to him a couple of times on the phone, but we're all very isolated. In the middle of all of that, I lost my father after a long battle with Alzheimer's, about 8 years. And so there's been a lot of kind of coming to terms with that. So I want to do a song for him. I'm going to dedicate this to Paul Cunningham, to Paolo, and say thanks for all the support. I wrote this song 2 or 3 years ago for my dad, and I got the first couple of lines, and then I realized that they were letters of the alphabet, and I had to find another 24 of them. So it took a while, but I eventually got there. I hope I can remember them all tonight. I haven't sung this in a while. When I hug my father, we hold on tight. If he forgets who I am, well, that's alright. A is for Alzheimer's, B B is for books and C is for coffee. And you ponder your choice and you place your votes. You get the same old knives at the same old throats. D is for democracy. E is for Elvis. It's an army based on blood connection, armed to the teeth with love and affection. F is for family. G is for guitars and H is for hard work. And you type it or you write it, but you get it done. It's all that'll be left when you hit the ground. I is for ink. J is for jazz and K is for kindness. It's an investment you just won't believe. The more you put in, the more you receive. L is for love. When you think you can't face another day, they'll pick you up and carry you all the way. M is for mothers. N is for north and O is for the ocean. P is for poetry and Q is for Quebec. Sunshine, windscreen, rolling fields, wind and rain and the way that it feels. R is for the road. S is for sugar and T is for TV. U is for up and V is for Valentine. And if W stands for all kinds of weather, and X is a kiss that you send in a letter. Y is for yes. When you enter this life, this is what you bring. It's what you take with you after everything. Z is for zero. When I hug my father, we hold on tight. Thank you. That's for the boy Leo, R.I.P. Here's one for my friend Conor McGuire down in Armagh. Is he there? Conor had asked for a song. I put an album out last year. Genius. Put an album out just before COVID, but there you go. So there's still boxes of them all over the house if anybody would like one. An album called Ghost Notes, and it was a collection of cover songs by other artists that I'd always enjoyed. And I put this one on it. The late, great Phil Sinclair up in Portrush used to love this song when I was playing in the bars up there. And my mother used to love it too, my late mother, Eileen. So this is a Steve Earle song, and this is for Conor, and it's called Goodbye. I remember holding on to you, all them long and lonely nights I put you through. Somewhere in there, I'm sure I made you cry. 'Cause I can't remember if we said goodbye. But I recall all of them nights down in Mexico. One place I may never go. was I off somewhere, or maybe just too high? 'Cause I can't remember if we said goodbye. I'll miss you every now and then. Like the soft breeze blowing up from the Caribbean. Most Novembers I break down and cry, 'cause I can't remember if we said goodbye. But I recall all of them nights down in Mexico. That's one place I'll never go in my life again. How was I off somewhere, or maybe just too high? 'Cause I can't remember if we said goodbye. No, I can't remember if we said goodbye. Goodbye, goodbye. Thank you. That's one for Connor. And now, just to show what a professional I am, I'm going to use a second guitar. Oh, I know. Big time. I have a whole other guitar here in a surprise tuning. And I'm going to do a song from an album called Our Lady of the Wind and Rain. This song was inspired by a morning that I woke up and decided that I felt that I had to apologize for some reason to everybody in the world for everything. I'm not sure where that feeling came from, but the song, I think it was kind of something like an exorcism, getting that out of the system. I'm going to dedicate this to Stephen Beggs. All the ones who used to love me, I hope they love me still. They have blessed me with forgiveness, and I hope they always will. In cruelty and jest, I wasn't at my best. For every headlight on the highway, for every moving piece of steel, there's a story and a heartbeat connected to the wheel. don't just roll on through. They take the rough and smooth just like you. Still see you walking away, and I carry it to this day. Until we close the book, I'll never let myself off the hook. Thank you. Thank you so much. Another couple of requests. Yeah, this is when Paul Connolly was in touch and asked if I would dedicate this to Arlene Murphy, who I believe is watching from Canada. And while I'm on that subject, I will also dedicate this to Marilyn and Warren, who are watching from Canada in the snowbound Quebec, province of Quebec. They sent me a lovely email earlier, and Warren had said that when you go to the NBA matches or you watch the NBA matches now on television, they have cardboard cutouts of all of the fans in the stands, so it looks like the place is packed, which is a lovely idea. So he had gone out into his front garden and built a couple of snowmen, a snowman and a snow woman, to represent himself and Marilyn, and I'm very touched by that. This is a song that was, again, is from the Our Lady of the Wind and Rain album, and it kind of was inspired, I suppose, by Shakespeare and all kinds of stuff, and by my lovely wife, Andrea. She and Shakespeare have a thing going on, you know. This is called Lost at Sea. Drowned and the saved give the same old goodbye way. Try to be brave, going under. They sang in their chains, make the same mistakes again. In vain for their mothers. But if we were lost at sea, salty tears and misery would not succeed, trying to drown us. Full fathom 5 we lie, side by side and tide by tide. They'd hang us out to dry when they found us. Man overboard, 700 leagues from shore. Loves you even more every day. Taking your hand is like spying dry land, just as your plans blow away. What if we were lost at sea, salty tears and misery would not succeed, trying to drown us. 4, 5 on 5 we lie, side by side and tide by tide. They'd hang us out to dry when they found us. This kind of love gives us pearls where our eyes used to be. Salty tears and misery would not succeed, trying to drown us. 4, 5 on 5 we lie, side by side and tide by tide. They'd hang us out to dry when they found us. Thank you. Oh, is Ronnie there? Ronnie, you're just in time. Welcome aboard, welcome aboard. Many a happy note I have struck in this room as well with the great Ronnie Greer and his band of brothers. We miss each other terribly. So Ronnie and I do kind of maybe once a week or twice a week, we'd have a long conversation about guitars, and it seems to kind of lift each other's spirits. And I was telling him earlier today that I was going to do a blues song. This is a special request as well for Andy McKinney, who I think is watching, and Andy's a big fan of slide guitar. And I also had contact from Alan Buckley, who had asked for a song by John Prine, and I'm not going to do the one that you asked for, Alan, but I am going to do this John Prine song and play a bit of slide on it. This is also for Andrea, who loves the line about the chickens in this song. It's called Ain't Hurtin' Nobody. I'm walking down the street like Lucky LaRue. Got my hand in my pocket, babe, thinking about you. I ain't hurting nobody, ain't hurting no one. There's 300 men in the state of Tennessee. They're waiting to die, they won't never be free. They ain't hurting nobody, ain't hurting no one. 6,700,033 lights on. You think someone would take the time to sit down and listen to the words of my song? At the beach in Indiana, I was 9 years old. I heard little Richard singing Tutti Frutti from the top of a telephone pole. I wasn't hurting nobody, I wasn't hurting no one. There's roosters laying chickens, chickens laying eggs, farm machinery eating people's arms and legs. I ain't hurting nobody, ain't hurting no one. Perfectly crafted popular hit songs never use the wrong line. You think that waitress could get my order right the first time? She's sitting on the front steps, just shucking that corn. That gal's been grinning since the day she was born. She ain't hurting nobody, she ain't hurting no one. I used to live in Chicago, where the cold wind blows. I delivered more junk mail than the junkyard would hold. I wasn't hurting nobody, wasn't hurting no one. Fool all of the people part of the time in a rock and roll song. 6 million Elvis Presley fans can't be all wrong. I'm walking down the street like Lucky LaRue, got my hand in my pocket, babe, thinking about you. I ain't hurting nobody, hurting no one. Thank you. I think that's an old song by John Prine, the late, very great John Prine. And I switch seamlessly to the other guitar. Here's one for Jerry and Geraldine. If I can find all my bits and pieces. And also for Mervyn Hall, who I think is watching tonight as well. This was inspired by those great monologues by Chris Christopherson. I kind of grew up listening to that Christopherson album, Me and Bobby McGee. It had some great songs on it, but there was a monologue on it called To Beat the Devil. And I always wanted to write one of those, so a couple of years ago, I kind of bit the bullet and did it. So this is for Jerry and Geraldine. It is called Exit Wounds. My friend's dad had this pistol, and he kept it in a bedroom drawer. Now this was life during peacetime. I don't even know what he had it for. It wasn't even in a holster or any kind of presentation box. It was just lying in this drawer between his underpants and socks. Now he checked the safety catch and he squared up like a man, and then he told me it was loaded, and he placed it in my hand. My friend had seen this all before, and he sat at the foot of the bed. He knew when his dad was on the rum and coke, it would sometimes turn his head. Now, I'd seen 1,000 guns on TV, held by cowboys and detectives, but this was real and black and heavy, much more serious than expected. But I pointed it at the wardrobe and I practiced looking grim, and then I waved it at the curtains and gladly gave it back to him. His wife was absolutely furious when she found out what he'd done. I mean, come on, a grown man and two 12-year-olds in a bedroom with a loaded gun. She knew better than he did how teenage minds unfold, how if you hold a loaded gun, it's something you never quite unhold. But my friend and me grew up loaded with our safeties mostly on, and it's strange to think that the father and the pistol are both gone. The underpants in the drawer, even the bedroom we stood in, the bullets and the trigger and the firing pin, and in this country full of exit wounds and heartaches by the ton, to this day that's still the only time I ever held a gun. Thank you. Here's an old song. This one is it's called The Duke of Oklahoma. And it was inspired by a line from a Kurt Vonnegut novel called Slapstick. And this is for my good friend Diane Lowry. How are you, Diane? I haven't played this in a long time. I hope I remember it all. The Duke of Oklahoma's had a pretty bad year. He had hoped it would be champagne, but it turned out to be beer, and he's alone. He's alone and more alone with every day. And the best years of his life, well, they feel like they're just slipping away. He's in love with a woman that works at the county hall. Now he flirts with her by email, but she never reads them all. She's alone. She's alone, and that's the way she wants to be. And the Duke of Oklahoma is a passing thing as far as she can see. Oh, but trying not to fall in love is like trying to forget your own name. It takes all kinds of chemicals and lots of time, and there's no guarantee that you will ever be the same. Well, he parks outside her office on the days when she's at work, blowing kisses at the windows like a love-struck jerk. He's such a fool. He's a fool to think this dream is coming true. In the school of hard knocks, he's got his very own diploma. It's been a bad year for the Duke of Oklahoma. The Duke of Oklahoma knows his love is all in vain. He's 8 miles out of town and on the wrong damn train. She doesn't care. She's got her eye on something further down the line. never asked for this attention, and his neediness put shivers down her spine. Oh, but trying not to fall in love is like trying to forget your own name. It takes all kinds of alcohol and lots of time, and there's no guarantee that you will ever be the same. His mental state's on roller skates, flying down the hill. He says he'll swing by your house, but you hope he never will. He's such a fool. He's a fool to think this dream is coming true. Everything he touches has the same cheap aroma. It's been a bad year for the Duke of Oklahoma. People running on here with oxygen masks. Okay, how am I for time now?
8 minutes to 9.
8 minutes. What's that? Keep going. All right, keep going. That's the duty manager telling me to keep going. That's good. Right. Okay, I'm going to detune for this one. Bear with me while I detune. This is the point where I usually break a string. This is another song from Ghost Notes. And I had a special request for this from Sue McCrum, who also asked if I would dedicate this to Kathy McCurry, who I think might be watching tonight. I recorded this on Ghost Notes, and the version that I'm going to do is based on an old Jim Reeves version of the song Scarlet Ribbons. Okay, I think that's close. I hope I can play this. I haven't played this out live in a long time, so. I peeped in to say goodnight, and then I heard my child in prayer, and for me some scarlet ribbons, scarlet ribbons for my hair. All the stores were locked and shuttered. All the streets were dark and bare. In our town, no scarlet ribbons, scarlet ribbons for her hair. Through the night, my heart was aching. Just before the dawn was breaking, I peeked in, and on her pillow in gay profusion lying there, scarlet ribbons, scarlet ribbons scarlet ribbons for her hair. If I live to be 100, I will never know from where came those lovely scarlet ribbons, scarlet ribbons for her hair. I think it was a wee bit rusty. Okay, while I'm in that tuning, here's another one. Here's one for Fergus and Mary if they're there. It's like your heart's done time in jail. After all these years, you have to let it out on bail. And if the past goes down the drain, I put my head in the clouds and I pray for rain. Well, 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 turn my face up to the lights. Well, 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 hope the days outnumber the nights. We held hands and we talked the whole night long. We knew the mood was right, but the time was wrong. Now the memory won't let me be. I'm like a plastic bag that's caught in a tree. Well, 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 turn my face up to the lights. Well, 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 hope the days outnumber the nights. And I know it's been a long, long time. I guess tonight you're just on my mind, la, la, la. Think of all the moves you had to choose. Pick the day you win, not the 1,000 times you lose. There's no sense in looking back. Just ask William Shakespeare and Fleetwood Mac. Well, 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 turn your face up to the lights. Well, 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 hope the days. Well, 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 turn my face up to the lights. Well, 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 hope the days outnumber the nights. you so much. I'm going to finish off now with a song that I dedicate every night. I play it to the late, great, very much missed Jerry Anderson, who used to play this song a lot. I'm also going to say hello to Siobhan and Claire if they're watching tonight, and to Michelle and Paula, maybe even Tommy and Pauline, I'm not sure. But to all of you, thanks a million for tuning in. This has been lovely. It's been a total novelty to put a guitar in the car and drive somewhere with it, you know. And I've really enjoyed it. And thanks very much to Bryony here at the Ardhowen for asking me to do this, and to Julie for looking after me earlier on. Thank you, Julie. A round of applause for you. And especially to Niall for looking after all the technical aspects of the thing. And you can keep in touch with me. I'm on all of the various social medias. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, on all of that. And I have a website, anthonytoner.net. And you can go on there and have a look. And also tune in here again next week. There's a lovely series of concerts happening here in the lobby bar here at the beautiful Ardhowen. And next week we have the fantastic Matt McGinn and John McCulloch. That should be amazing. Each of them is amazing, but together it's greater than the sum of the parts, if you know what I mean. So. Here's a little song about Belfast. Thanks again, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. This is Sailor Time. Me and Elaine, we've been hanging around in what was once Sailor Town, drinking cheap red wine by the light of the Belfast moon. There's nobody left here that works at the docks. It's all urban renewal and apartment blocks. Summer is fading, winter will be coming soon. The walls in the city have a lot to say about the UVF and the IRA. It's cold by the river, but the sky is full of stars. But these walls say nothing about who I am when I'm singing in the garden at the Rotterdam, doing Brown-Eyed Girl and whiskey in the jar. And I know they're tearing it down street by street. Look out below, there goes the ground beneath your feet. Elaine's mother thinks I'm some kind of crook. She meets me at the door with a dirty look. My welcome round there's starting to wear thin. 'Cause I promised everybody I would knuckle down, but my grades weren't good enough this time round. All my time runs out in the end. And I know they're tearing it down street by street. Look out below, there goes the ground beneath your feet. I can't wait to be rid of school, but Elaine's got a place at Liverpool. By the time September comes, she'll be gone. And she says she'll text me every day, but that's something she feels she has to say. She'll call me once at Christmas, then move on. and we've been hanging around in what was once Sailor Town. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you. I hope to see you in a real place soon, where we can actually be face to face and have air moving between us. But until then, this has been really lovely, and I hope you've enjoyed it. Thanks a million. Good night.